Hi everyone, this week we're testing the 2018 Suzuki Swift Sport. So this is a pretty big deal for the compact hatch segment. It brings in a new turbo engine, retains the lightweight character, and sticks with a relatively affordable entry price point. The new model adopts the styling of the new Swift, the base model Swift, and it looks quite good in sport guise. So it's got these twin exhaust pipes and a little diffuser area at the back with this sort of fake carbon fibre. It does look pretty good even though it is fake carbon fibre, but it gives it a bit of contrast. And then this test model's got the sticker pack, which definitely adds a sort of certain racy theme to it. At the front it looks much more aggressive than the previous model. It's got these little side cluster, little fog lights there, and updated headlights. You might also notice the sensor at the front here, which is for the standard radar cruise control and autonomous emergency braking. It's a pretty impressive feature for a compact car, especially at this price. Let's take a look inside. So like before, it's got these bespoke bucket seats for the front. They're pretty aggressive too. The bolsters really stick right out. And once you're inside, you do sit quite high. It's not a sort of hunkered down sports car. That's the first feeling that I got when I sat inside. But you're actually perched quite high. It's almost SUV-like. But there is plenty of room though. The sort of tall cabin orientation with the very high ceiling provides plenty of room and a feeling of perception of space as well, which is just as important. So I'll just start up. We're going to have a quick listen to the engine. So it's got a bit of a note there. It's not full-on hardcore hot hatch barking and crackling, but it's a bit of bass to it. This engine actually debuted with the Vitara S Turbo a couple of years ago. It's a 1.4 litre turbo, producing 103 kilowatts. I like the way the interior of Suzuki's is very, very simple. So it's not going to give you a headache just trying to figure out what things do. It uses a universal touchscreen system with 4 separate areas. It's even got sat-nav, smartphone pairing, and of course Bluetooth streaming. And down below you've got this climate control cluster. It all makes sense. It's all very easy to use. You're not going to get a headache at all trying to figure out what things do and where things are. For the Swift Sport you get paddle shifters as well for the automatic model. We had the manual model last week, which is just as good. We don't mind the 6-speed auto as well as the 6-speed manual. They're both quite good for this style of vehicle. There are some cheap areas, so a lot of the dash is pretty basic plastic. There's none of that soft rubbery stuff that you get on some of the slightly more expensive rivals. But as I said, it all works. There's nothing really to complain about inside here. You're not going to be expecting to step into a Rolls Royce when you open the doors for this. So your expectations aren't all that high, but you're not let down at all. So it's quite nice. Plenty of room. You've got storage for your phone, 2 cup holders, another little tray there, and then a cup holder towards the back for the rear passengers. Speaking of which, let's have a look at the back seat. So you've got this cool little door handle, vertical door handle for the rear door. But yeah, it's not too bad here. Like as I said, the tall ceiling actually provides plenty of clearance. It's not like my head's nowhere near the roof there, so it's pretty good. Legroom is probably the only major limitation, or it's not even a major limitation. It's not bad for me. I've got the seat in sort of a default position. That one's even a little bit further back, and it's still got a little bit of room there. But you're pretty well accommodated. You've got your own little bottle holders in the doors, power windows. There's no armrest for the middle, but it's pretty sort of narrow. It's a compact car. You probably shouldn't expect something like that. But it is definitely more spacious than the previous model. The previous model is quite tight in the back, whereas this you can comfortably sit 4 adults in the entire car. Putting a person in the middle is going to be a bit tighter, but actually it's not too bad. The width of the seat is not too bad. Obviously, if you've got 2 more adults on either side of you, you're going to be touching shoulders, but and legs. But yeah, for this size vehicle, it's not too bad at all. Let's take it for a quick spin and see how it goes. So with the automatic, you've got two modes to choose from. You've got D, and then the manual mode is actually further down. I've found a number of times you get into the car and you've got it in park and you flick it down to drive, and you drive along, and then the engine's screaming in first gear, and you realise that you've put it into manual mode. So a lot of cars on the market at the moment, you flick it across into manual, whereas this is straight down. That can be a bit annoying. Even after you're used to the car, it's still, you find yourself clicking into manual mode accidentally. But we'll put it in manual mode anyways for this drive. So when we first got in the manual version last week, we thought, yeah, we'd definitely get the manual. It's the more exciting, the more interactive drive. But having driven this for a few days now, the automatic is actually pretty fun as well. It's not a dual clutch automatic, it's just a normal standard torque converter automatic, but it is quite quick at changing. It will upshift by itself, so if you don't upshift, it won't actually bounce on the rev limiter. I'll just show you. So you're in second gear, and say you come up to a corner, you don't really want to upshift, but it will automatically without you doing it. So that's a little bit annoying. It's not a major issue, but it would be nice to be able to just bounce off the rev limiter if you have to, if you're on a track or something like that. You don't want it to be automatically upshifting. However, it does rev all the way up to the red line, so it's not upshifting too early. It's actually pretty much on the red line as it does it automatically. The suspension is quite nice, so this is a pretty rough road that we're testing on here, and it's soaking up the bumps quite well. You do get a sort of a tall feeling of center of gravity. As I said, that tall sort of seating position makes you feel like you're a bit taller, but it does provide you with a bit of weight shifting fun, so you can throw it around and play with it a little bit. But yeah, it handles very well. It's very playful, I guess is the best word to describe it. It's quite interactive. I've got the stability control turned off at the moment, and there is a bit of inside wheel spin, which is fine. It makes it a bit more exciting, but even still there is plenty of grip, especially cornering grip around the corners, so you can pull high G-forces around the corner. Yeah, it's lots of fun. Yeah, there's a lot of punch from this engine. It might be just a mainstream engine that you'd find in a Vitara, but it actually turns into a bit of a sporty engine in this. And a lot of that has to do with the low weight of the new Swift Sport. So the manual version weighs just 945 kilos. I don't know I haven't checked the specs for the automatic, but it wouldn't be much higher, maybe 10 or 20 kilos higher. That's an extremely low weight for a modern car, especially one that's fitted with, you know, modern technology such as a touchscreen, autonomous emergency braking and all that sort of stuff. Only thing that does disappoint me a bit is the engine sound. I probably go on about engine sound too much in my reviews, but I think it's just an important part of the driving experience, especially in a sports car. If it sounds good, it just really adds to it, I believe. And in this, yeah, it just sounds a bit generic. It sounds a bit like a vacuum cleaner. They could have done something a little bit better with that, I think. Like a Volkswagen Polo GTI sounds a lot beefier and rally-like, whereas this is pretty generic in sound. I'll be putting together a more in-depth review on the website soon, and I'll go over more of the details. But yeah, on first impressions, this is a great little car. I can't think of many things or many areas to turn you off this. There's nothing really bad about it at all, apart from that engine sound, as I said, which is not really, it's a bit trivial really. But yeah, good space inside, good features, good safety, good performance, and excellent fuel economy. Like, this is chewing 6 litres per 100 at the moment. I've just done a couple of runs up and down that the winding road, and it's still saying 6 litres per 100. So that's amazing for a real world economy. The fuel tank is also very small, I can't remember the exact figure, maybe put it in the edit, but it's about 35 litres I think, or something like that. Very, very small, because I put $20 in it and the fuel gauge just filled right up again. But yeah, awesome first impressions. This should sell really well in the Australian market and really give some of the rivals a bit of a scare. Thanks for watching.